Talk Time with Little Scholars every Saturday. Come hear the scholars. We learn, we laugh, and we share our minds from peace building to technology, education, current affairs, and social life. Find us on YouTube, Upperboards, and SoundCloud. We have got big ideas just waiting for you. With voices young and stories bold, together we shine, together we grow. It's Talk Time with Little Scholars. This is a project of Excellence Foundation for South Sudan. Let's build a world where young minds flow.
Social media does more harm than good to students' mental health. Well, beloved August House, as we gathered here today to discuss this crucial topic, we need to understand this key area. What is social media exactly? Social media is a means of mass communication through which we receive messages and send messages through electronic means, like the social media platforms, e.g. Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, WhatsApp, and so many others. Well, ladies and gentlemen, we also need to understand what mental health is. Mental health refers to emotional, psychological, and social well-being of one's mind. Well, with all this, the resolution at large simplifies us to tell us why the team of farmers believe that social media has more disadvantages over the advantages. And it also wants the team negators to come and tell us exactly why they think that, yes, social media's effects are not so disadvantageous to students' mental health. Well, ladies and gentlemen, I'm not alone. I'm with the team of our farmers, Honorable Cho Dengarang and Honorable Atongwe, to affirm this resolution. Well, beloved August House, research shows that this research was conducted from the AI overview. It shows that 57% of students are mentally affected by social media. And in addition to it also shows that the research that was conducted from the Pew Research Center, it shows that 19% of the teens are mentally affected by social media. And who are these teens, ladies and gentlemen? The teens are the very students. So we believe that 19% plus the 57%, it gives you 76%. And here's the evidence to clarify this, the source and the evidence. Well, with all this, that is the exact thing giving us a win, saying that social media has really done more harm than good. Because if you just see the 76%, leaving out the 24%, ladies and gentlemen, not affected. If 76% is affected, it means that this social media is really doing more harm than good to students' mental health. Well, as the team of farmers, we made our research from the world. Let us say it's the globe. And our status quo is currently in the world. The percentage of the people using social media are the students, which is the 90% of the students. And we believe it is mentally affecting them in terms of a lot of things in their mental health. Well, with the team of farmers, we stand firm saying that social media does more harm than good to students' mental health. And to make clear clarification to the team negators, we are not against the fact that social media is having advantages, but we should know exactly what are more compared to others, giving us a upper hand saying that the disadvantages of social media are more compared to the advantages of social media over in terms of mental health of students. And that is why we affirm this resolution today. Well, ladies and gentlemen, as the team captain of the team of farmers, allow me to lament on the point of advertisement of harmful drugs. Well, we believe that social media platforms such as the WhatsApp, Facebook, they always advertise these drugs, these harmful drugs like the cigarettes, alcohol, saying, and at last they say that these things are helpful, and later on, a student who is using these platforms will go and try them out, taking smoking cigarettes, affecting them mentally. And that is why we believe that social media does more harm than good to students' mental health. Well, ladies and gentlemen, to dive into the point of introduction to pornography, we all know what pornography is. I believe none of us here is not knowing pornography. We all know what pornography is. And if you take a clear action on this, you find these pornographic videos and the pictures being posted on the social media platforms such as the Facebook, WhatsApp, and so many other things. And later on, a student who is using social media will focus, putting the mind on these pornographic things. And later on, the person will always be thinking of where to get it and where to do these things, ladies and gentlemen, affecting them mentally. And that is why we believe that social media does more harm than good to students' mental health. And here is the evidence to prove that social media really does more harm than good on pornography. And also, the issue of drugs, here is also an evidence to prove that social media really advertises drugs that students should consume. Well, ladies and gentlemen, in summary, I talked of drugs advertisement, where I say that these harmful drugs are advertised on social media platforms, leading students to always think of how to get them, affecting them mentally. I also talked of introduction to pornography, where I say that pornographic videos and the pictures are always on the social media side, affecting students mentally. Conclusively, ladies and gentlemen, let us take control of social media use and prioritize our mental health. And with all this, I believe we will prosper well in terms of our mental health. With all this, I beg to raise my case. Thanks.
We have the first legator from the visiting school, Adia Al Madut. The stage is yours.
Social media
media is the only place where I look happy. Though inside I'm in, but when I get 100 likes, I'd be happy. So, Honorable Moderator, Secretary, Educator, Time Manager, Proposition, Opposition, staff, guests, and the audience, thank you so much. I am by the name Hadia Wilwa, proud Form 3 student from Horizon, coming with as the first speaker with my opponents from Horizon, which is Kello and Ayinlwa. Well, as the first speaker from the other side says, 75%, but you didn't explain to me how they caused that affected them. And out of all, you talk of like cigarettes and the drugs that every cigarette that they make has rules and regulations. You can't tell me that when you're using the knife and you cut yourself, you still blame the knife. It is how you use it. If you're brought up in a rightful way, you will not go and search for the videos that are obscene, and you can instead guide yourself in the right form. Well, I will not object that you define the motion in the rightful way. Well, I will definitely go to my point of view straight. First of all, I will talk about faith-based content cleanse the mind. When students turn to digital sermons, gospel meanings, and Islamic wisdom for emotional clarity during exams or personal crisis. Let's say, for example, when I go, like I'm feeling so upset, like my family has done something to me, I'm being mistreated, and I go into the Facebook and I find something, an easy quote saying, "You are not alone, God is with you." That can be a lifeline. I can use it. Maybe if my friend finds me crying behind, and then he shows me something through the social media, just encouraging me through faith, then I can be fine. Then I can guide myself. And my second point of view is cultural expression builds identity. Like the way before you performed your dance this way about your culture. Many people were recording. Obviously, we should record because we love our country and our culture. We can post it and everyone will like it and we get many likes because social media can help us protect our identity and culture. Well, as they say, a study published by the Christians Mental Health found out that faith-based apps and content like devotionals, meditation, and spiritual posts help teens and students reduce anxiety, improve focus, and build emotional resilience. Let's say from Romans 12:2, it says, "Do not conform the partner of this world, but be transformed by renewing your mind." Let's say you should not depend on your partner on the app because if you can't read the Bible, it is not telling that your partner on earth God will help you throughout everything. So when you go to social media and search for things, let's say the apps that we use nowadays in the phones, which is for the Bible reading. Of course, not much majority of us carry Bibles. We use the apps. That's why I say social media has not done any harm. So we can use the apps and read the Bible in case we are in charge. You can just put your phone simply in airplane mode and then you use the Bible. That's the one why I say social media has helped us a lot. Social media is used by students for cultural pride. And let me say, there's a report that one said a 2024 cross-cultural study published in PLOS, one found that students who engage in cultural expression on social media had 65% higher self-esteem scores compared to those who didn't. Okay, imagine a kid who posted a TikTok video teaching his or her classmates, let's say about our Dinka culture, Acholi, Shulu, Kojulu, and many others. We get the content of standing against the bad peer group because people outside there are loving our videos through the TikTok app, Instagram, and many more. So a quote that was said by Marcus Garvey once said, "People without the knowledge of their past, history, origin, and culture is like a tree without root." You can't tell me that you going to a citizen, you don't know where you came from, your background, whether you're a Dinka or not. You can't know your great-grandfather or your culture. But with the work of social media, when your parent sees this and tells you that is your culture, of course you'll be happy and you'll be eager to practice what it is showing you. So in my conclusion, I talked about social media helps students explore the faith and express their culture, building identity, resilience, and emotional peace. Let spiritual leaders and culturemen, thank you so much, guide students online. When beliefs and traditions are shared, young minds grow rooted and strong. So I would like to raise my case and still oppose the motion. Thank you so much.
Let us call the second speaker, Honorable Atangu Weko.
I would like to begin by greeting and recognizing the Honorable Moderator, the Secretary, the Judges, the Timekeeper, the two parties debating for the mental rights, the guests, the staff, and not forgetting my Black Opinion Collective. Atangu Weko were my names, a senior student from Brilliant Academy, and the reinforce of the team affirmative under the resolution states that social media does more harm than good to students' mental health. I have 3 issues on hand that is to rebuttal, review, and to add on our team case. But to begin with, I would like to rebuttal the team case of the team negators. Well, they came up with many things. I would like to begin with the quote of the first mover. She talked of how she feels nice with many likes on social media. Well, I have a question for her. I think we have a trending video online today of a girl who was raped. I think that video has many likes, many comments, but is she happy? I don't think so. Because this social media don't only post the good things, but also have the bad posts. And if she's talking about likes, I believe also other bad videos also have many likes. And this doesn't prove that you should be happy because of many likes, but rather of the content of what is being posted. And if you see now today's current situation, they post bad things more than the good things on social media. And that's why you're saying this is harming a student's mental health rather than making it good. She also came up with a recording of cultural videos. Well, if you see the percentage of the cultural videos videos online and the bad videos, which she talked about, which are far more talk of the pornography videos and the harmful content on social media, you see how many are viewed. And most of the things that are viewed by the students are likely to be the pornography and the harmful content on social media. And we gave you the percentage to prove that the students go and search for this. Who today I start it with me, if I'm to be given a call today, I'll not go and search for my cultural dance. I'll go and search for the new Netflix video which is trending online. And this is what the students are doing. And most of these videos are immoral, and that's why we're saying that it is causing mental health to the students. And that's why we are proud to affirm that resolution, saying that this social media contributes or make more bad, harmful content and which affects the mental health of the students. She also came with a Bible verse. If I may ask you, not all students are Christian. Most students are pagans, especially if you see the students of today, they don't believe in the Bible. You get them rebutting the Bible. So do you think they have read that verse that you came claiming about, giving us an evidence? I don't think so. If I ask any of the students right now to get up and ask them a Bible verse in the Bible, they will not tell us. That means they don't read the Bible. So you cannot come and defend the students with the Bible verse, but majority of the students are pagans. So that point of us was invalid. They also misfired because they did not hear about the clarification that was made by our first mover. Our first mover clearly states that this motion expect their farmers to tell us why social media does more harm than good to the students' mental health. While they should come and tell us the more good advantages of social media to the students' mental health. But she did not understand the resolution, which makes them going to fail at the end of tonight's resolution because they did not understand. Instead of telling us the many advantages of the social media, came rebutting the harmful things of the social media, which makes that team case to be very weak. With this, I would like to review our case where we talk of drugs. She said that most of the drugs that are posted online, it is for your moral value to not take them. Well, I think there's this famous alcohol called the Red Bull. They advertise saying that Red Bull gives you wings. If they say that Red Bull gives you wings, don't you want to have those wings? You go and take the alcohol because you believe that at the long last you get wings. This advertisement that they make of drugs is what influences the student to go and take them. And that's why we don't want the students to be on social media because the harm are more than the goods. Allowed, please.
First of all, you talk of a girl that was raped, and you said the video has many likes. Did you not tell us the number of the likes? You did not identify. How many likes were there?
There are thousands and thousands of likes because 20 people went and view that.
Where's the evidence?
This video is currently trending on online media panel. Everybody has watched that video, and I believe all of you are witnesses to this. I don't need to give you evidence because I don't believe you've also watched. That's why some of the students from Horizon also gave out the example in their speech of telling of this girl who was raped online. Meaning everybody viewed it, and if all of us viewed it, then it has many likes, of course. That's why I said it has many likes. Now, to all of our people media panel, I like to talk about addiction and distraction. When you see this addiction and distraction, they barely work together. Many students today are addicted to social media. They have many, all the students, I believe, have social media accounts, and they spend most of the time on this. That's why they're having failures in schools because they spend most of the time on social media, which has mentally affected them, and that's why they're not performing in schools. And just to clarify, I have many evidence here showing the percentage of students who are addicted to social media. So dear parents, would like you to check onto this, and this proves that social media is doing more harm to students' mental health rather than the good. Now, I also like to talk of FOMO. This simply means fear of missing out. Many students fear to miss out on many trends online. If I guess if we come to discuss now about Mr. Bean, everybody has watched Mr. Bean, but I believe it was only one individual who came up with this Mr. Bean, and everybody was influenced to go and check it out. That's why we say this social media does more harm than good. And here's the evidence of many people of FOMO statistics, and I believe it clarifies that it does more harm to students' mental health. That's not only let's talk of the screen of face-to-face interaction. Many students focus on social media. They're always on busy chatting, watching videos, which reduce this face-to-face interaction. And then many students are not good public speakers because they spend most of the time on social media. And these are the statistics of this is the scale that shows that many students are failed to do face-to-face interaction. Therefore, we believe that this social media does more harm than good students' mental health. In summary, I talk of addiction and distraction, where I say that many students have become addicted to social media. I also talk of fear of missing out, which is FOMO. So many students join social media because they want to check out what their fellows are doing outside. Last but not least, I also talk of discrete face-to-face interaction. This is brought by social media or too much social media. With this, I'm proud to have a platform. Thanks.
An audience. My name is Ayin Madud, a proud senior student from Horizon Academy Secondary School, serving as the second speaker to oppose the motion that social media does more harm than good to students' mental health. But first of all, I would love to first rebuttal on some of the points that our opponent said. They said fear of missing out. But first of all, how do these videos contribute to your faith? And you also talked about pagans. Now, you say that if we are to say that Bible verses that some of us here are pagans and we are not Christians. Now, how does social media help those students who are pagans? If now you're scrolling on social media and you find such Bible verses, you can easily be aware that God exists, and it can increase on your faith knowing that there is someone who's called God, and at least now you'll have the knowledge and the mentality of CRE, because CRE is a subject that is taught in schools, and that's how we shall be able to know about CRE, because CRE is all about knowing about God. So that therefore I'm saying that if social media wasn't there and such words were not there in the social media, how would we know CRE sometimes, even if it's taught in school? See, social media helps us to know more information about it. And about pornography, Pornography is a choice. Certain of us will reach at certain ages. If we cannot manage to control the sex hormones within us, how are we able to now manage to control some things? Because according to science, we all have hormones that are responsible for something. So we have the reproductive cells and some also the sex hormones, which always can increase on the influence of knowing something. But now it will be according to one student to be able, if the person wants to be able to know or the person is not willing to know, it's according to the person's choice. Now therefore, I would love to first go back to my point of view. My first point of view is that social connections reduce isolation. Students often feel alone in their struggles, academic stress, emotional wounds, or social pressure. Social media acts as a bridge, creating online spaces for peer support and shared experiences. Facebook groups like Student Voices South Sudan lets youth to talk about what they are going through, to tell out their stories, and to tell them what they are facing right now. For some of us here within the school premises, we do not have friends. We feel so isolated because we have some problems and people are not around us, and it will affect us mentally. Why? Because we shall not be able to focus in our books saying that I have no friends, I have no one to communicate to you. But due to social media has been able to encourage us so that we can be able to find friends online. Such apps as Facebook and Messenger has helped us so that we can build connections with others and we cannot be left alone. Thank you. As President, okay, well, as you just said that pornography is one choice. Do you believe that these people who are having a choice to watch pornographic videos won't be mentally affected? And as I said, okay, if you say that those people who are watching pornographic videos won't be affected, you having sex hormones, won't you be affected also? So now, if you have the sex hormones, that means also pornography now is not your choice because now sex hormones has been created in you naturally, so it's not your fault. So now, as Paul Kagame, president of Rwanda, once said, Africa's story has been written by others. We need to own our problem and solutions and write our own story. Meaning that Kagame's words speak to digital empowerment, and that's exactly what social media offers students facing isolation. Social media lets isolated students in South Sudan to talk about and write their own stories, sharing struggles, finding support, and building community. It's not about technology, it's all about empowerment. And my second point of view is that education access eases academic pressure. From TikTok hack from TikTok math hack to WhatsApp revision group, students use social media as a classroom that's open 24/7. During the crisis of COVID-19, many of us faced challenges during our academic. So now, due to social media, it was easy for us to be able to learn from YouTube apps and other kinds of apps that helped us in our academic. As now, many countries also reported from South Africa that 60% of students use social media to discuss academic topics and 51% use it for assignments. So Julius Nyerere once said also, education is not a way to escape poverty, it is a way of fighting it, meaning that social media is the student's shield. In that fight, giving access, easing pressure, and building resilience. In my summary, I talked about education access eases academic pressure, which is saying that instead of feeling trapped by school stress, they feel empowered. A student who fails in class might thrive after watching a relatable YouTube lesson. And my other point was social connections reduce isolation. The students who often feel alone in their struggles and academic stress can easily be convinced. And my final conclusion, I'll have to say that social media, when guided wisely, helps the students stay emotionally connected to family, express themselves in school, and build supportive communities. Let educators teach digital balance. Families use it to stay close, and society embrace it for healing, because in the end, a single heartfelt message from home can be the strongest medicine for students' minds. Let's scroll smart and scroll together. Thanks.
Dr. John Larios, physiologist, once said, and I quoted, social media and mental health are parallel when over misused. And you realize that today, students are misusing social media in a way that the report was shown on a Pew Research, showing that 76% of students are negatively affected by mental health simply because they are overusing it. Now let us look at this. If 75% is negatively affected, like their mind is mentally affected by social media, then how is it that the negators are trying to challenge the fact that 75 is more than 24%? They should come and talk about this more. Panels, I am honorable. I recognize the moderator, the panel of judges, the secretary, the timekeeper, the judges, the two debating side of my resolution, guests of honor, ladies and gentlemen, good day. I am Honorable Achol Dengareng, a senior core art student, affirming under the resolution with me. Social media does more harm to students' mental health. Well, before I go deeper into my views of argument, allow me to highlight what I'm going to talk about. I'm going to talk about reduced creativity, cyberbullying and harassment, anxiety, and depression. But before I go deeper into my views of argument, allow me to rebuttal the team case to the team negative. When they came here and talk about reduced isolation, I want to tell you clearly, social media is contributing more to isolation in a way that you realize that when one is subjected to cyberbullying and harassment, for example, the lady that was raped by the gangs in Shibkat, do you believe that she will not isolate herself from people? Obviously, she will isolate herself from people because she's bullied and harassed. This social media is contributing to the people, to students, isolating themselves from people. Again, they talk about easy access to education. We are not against the fact that social media contributes to some advantages, but the fact remains that the negativities are more than the advantages. Of which the reasons that we say that access to quality education, yeah, we would not deny that. But the higher percentage of students are not using that. They are not accessing education, rather they are going to watch the trending movies. They are going to watch the things that are negatively influencing their mind. And this is all a result of social media. Again, ladies and gentlemen, they came and say that the students that goes and watch pornographic pictures are the ones that are not well trained. Clearly, well trained or not well trained, they are still what? Students. So whether they go and watch porn or they not watch porn as well trained or not well trained, they remain students. So if we are collecting statistics about students that are mentally affected by social media, we will also contribute the students that are not well trained because they are students. Well, panels, to go into my views of argument, I'll talk about reduced productivity. You realize that today students, whenever they are given assignment in class, what do? They take the assignment, go back home, and then they go on social media to search for answers. For example, the artificial intelligence. This is what this part of social media, and we are using it to answer our assignment. Does this give us creativity? It doesn't, and that is the negativity of social media. I will evidence it by giving an evidence that was touched on AAI overview. Here's an evidence to prove that students currently today are not using social media appropriately, or which is negatively affecting the 76% of students. Well, panels also talk about, again, ladies and gentlemen, to talk about reduced creativity, to talk about cyberbullying and harassment. You realize today that a lot of people are being bullied and harassed on social media, and whenever they are harassed on social media, they become mentally affected. Like the example, the girl that was raped by the gate. I will constantly give this example because this is one of the examples that is trending currently and is negatively affecting us. This girl will never feel comfortable to stay with people. Her mind is unstable. She's depressed. She's having a lot of thoughts in her mind simply because of social media. If not because of social media, she wouldn't be exposed in such a horrible manner. And these are the negativities of social media, ladies and gentlemen. And this I'm going to evidence it by giving an evidence of cyberbullying and harassment. Many students are being harassed and bullied on social media, of which is negatively affecting their mental health.
Honorable Speaker, can you please tell us how pornography leads to students' mental health and give us a relevant example?
Let me tell you something about pornography. Whenever you watch it, there are these emotions that it brings to one. And if it brings those emotions, it affects one's mental health, bringing negativities into the mind of students. Whenever you watch those things, like this lady, like the second negator say that, don't you have hormones? Clearly, yeah, those hormones, they affect people, and when they affect people, what happens? Your mind begins to think of things that are so irresponsible and things that negatively affect your mind. And also talk about anxiety and depression. I want to tell you today, students want to be like their peers. Whenever I go online as a student and I see someone using iPhone, I'll be like, oh my God, I wish I should use this iPhone filter. But I cannot get it. I will be depressed because my peers are having iPhone and I'm not having it. This is negatively affecting students online. And we should understand that the more students use social media, the more they're negatively going to be affected. And also, to conclude my view, to summarize, I talk of reduced creativity, of which I like to talk of how students answer assignments on social media. I talk of cyberbullying and harassment, of which I talk of how students are being bullied and harassed on social media. Again, I talk of anxiety and depression, a way that students wish to be like their peers, but they can't be like it, because social media is a place that generalizes all of us, being rich or poor, but we wish to be like our peers, and this negatively affects our mind. Conclusively, ladies and gentlemen, social media, the more time that students spend on social media, the more negativities that they will get. Whether well trained or not well trained, whether well trained or not well trained, they will still be negatively affected by social media. And with this, we are saying social media is affecting the mental health of students. With this, I rest my case.
They are telling us that they will shoot themselves on the leg and expect us to feel the pain. First of all, social media is not the one using you. You are the one using it, so you have the power to control it. And also, first thing, you go to social media, instead of searching for something beneficial, you search for porn videos. And when you are told that no results found, you say social media does not harm them good. That's not the case. So, Honorable Speaker, the moderator, the secretary, the adjudicator, proposition and opposition, staff, guests and audience. My name is Iskelo Albino from Horizon Academic Secondary School, and I'm here to wrap it up like a well-folded uniform. As the third speaker, I strongly oppose the motion that states social media does more harm than good to students' mental health. But firstly, before I go straight, I would like to acknowledge the point of my opponent about pornography and, she said, social media reduce creativity. Can you just imagine how many content creators do you have on TikTok? How many content creators do you have on Twitter? And how many content creators do you have on Instagram? There are a lot of content creators, and you are saying that it reduces creativity. If you have to go online right now, you see there are many people creating new ideas and they are getting likes, and that's a way of handing money online. Secondly, he said pornography affects students mentally. That's one I agree, it affects, but that's another way of learning online. There are some people who don't know, there are some styles you need to learn, like missionary and blog style. There are things that we don't know, so that's another way of learning online. So back to my views. First of all, allow me to talk about mental health awareness. Before social media, most students thought that anxiety was just a fancy word for. Most students thought that anxiety was just a fancy word for exam stress, and depression was just a sadness with extra drama. But today, thanks to Instagrams, thanks to influencers and even educators on platforms like TikToks, Instagrams, and Twitter, the students Students now understand their mental health more than ever. And more importantly, they know that it's okay to talk about it. First of all, my dear opponents, apps like Better Health and Calm didn't just pop up. They were shared, liked, reposted, and downloaded. That is not harm. That's healing on your fingertips if you don't know. Secondly, allow me to talk of opportunities for income and business. Social media has become a new marketplace for young entrepreneurs. A 2022 survey by Hootsuite found that over 22% of Gen Z students earn money online. This includes selling handmade crafts on Instagram and offering academic tutoring via TikTok. For example, there are students making thousands of money on TikTok. There are students making thousands of money on TikTok by teaching math tricks. You're welcome.
Now, do you believe that social media does harm to students' mental health?
Of course. As the meme says, I started a small business to pay my school fees, but now my mother works for me. So thirdly, allow me to talk of staying informed and awareness. Now let's talk about politics. Don't worry, I'll keep it interesting. Social media keeps students updated on local, national, and global issues like in real times. Those are the days where the students only rely on newspapers and TV news, and that's not the case. As one of the viral tweets put it, social media has taught me more than the 4 years of high school government class. So, in summary, I've talked of mental health awareness. Students now understand their mental health more than ever. Secondly, I've talked of opportunities for incomes and business. There are students making thousands online by teaching math tricks. Thirdly, I've talked of staying informed and aware. Social media updates students about local, national, and global issues. So in summary, yes, social media has its risks, like distractions and fake news, but economically and politically, it has opened doors for students that previous generations could only dream about. So we say, hand smartly, stay informed, and keep the world changing. Thank you.
Reply to speeches will begin with the negators in 4 minutes and 30 seconds.
First, love to rebuttal some things for a while. You talked about the girl who was being raped in Shirka. Well, I should let you know, in other countries, when a victim is found, let's say the social media helps them to be contributed to. At least they help them with some financial things that helps them. But why for us South Sudanese it is a disadvantage because of social media is because we are still uncivilized and we are still left backwards. We don't think twice before doing something, and that's it. And another one, you talked of missing out the videos. Well, if you're talking of missing videos, it is your choice which video you want to miss out. You should not blame the social media. If you want this point or not the other one, it is your choice. Everything comes from the choice. You cannot say your mindset decides something without you wanting it. So I would go back to my introduction to the captain's summary, which is the opposition side. Under the motion, social media does more harm than good to students' mental health. We proudly stand in opposition. We, on our stance, is clear. Social media, when guided and used with purpose, is a force of connection, education, creativity, and emotional healing. Students are not breaking because of social media. They are building resilience through it. If we truly want to address mental health challenges, we must look beyond the screen and confront on the online realities driving students. Well, our summary is, we strongly believe that social media does more harm than good to the student's mental health. It is not the problem, it is a tool. How it is used matters more than blaming it. Students are struggling because of deeper issues like pressure from school, family problems, and lack of mental support, and not because of social media itself. We, the opposition, highlighted that social media helps students make friends, sharing feelings, and find support when they feel lonely. It's better than suffering in silence. And the other is, when the opposition stated under the religious sector, many students find peace by joining online prayers, groups, and watching faith-based messages. This strengthens their spirit. And the other point is, when the opposition believes that politically, social media lets students speak out proud but about real problems and learn how and when it is going on. The stress isn't from posting, it's from the situations that care out. We, the opposition, believe that economically, it teaches students how to earn money, gain skills, and build small businesses. That gives us hope, not harm. And the other, we believe on the educational side. It helps students to study better through videos and peer support. Stress comes from exams and pressure, not from platforms that help. We, the opposition, believe that under health, students use social media to find mental health tips, access support groups, and feel less alone. It provides help, not harm. And we believe that in families, sometimes students can't talk freely at home. Social media gives that place to express emotions and feel understood. Culturally, students proudly share their traditions, languages, and heritage. This builds identity, confidence, and emotional strength. Well, in my closing statement, in conclusion, blaming social media is like blaming a knife for cutting you. It depends on how you use it. Students aren't suffering because they post online. They are finding ways to survive and grow through social media. Don't silence the only place many feel hard. Let's guide them and use it wisely. Thank you.
Well, panel, when I walked into this house, I believed that we were going to debate with one team, but it shocked my mind finding the team negators are having two good teams, ladies and gentlemen. And this is their contradiction. The two movers from the team negators, they told us that if social media is well guided, it will improve students' mental health. And again, the last the speaker from the team Negators came and just agreed with our team case when he was asked a question, do you believe social media does more harm than good? He said, of course, meaning he has already joined our side. So we are having an upper hand on winning this debate, ladies and gentlemen. And I know all of you bear with us in that. But ladies and gentlemen, also to tell them the point of weakness from the team Negators came. They were expected to exactly tell us why they think that social media's advantages are more compared, or how are they more compared, but they failed to do that. Instead, they just came and brought up why they think social media is good. And they misquoted us, ladies and gentlemen. We clarified it before that social media, we don't disagree that social media is having advantages or disadvantages, but we told them clearly we should consider what is more, and that is what the resolution is talking about. But the team Negators failed to identify that, meaning that the team Negators are backfiring with the resolution, giving us a upper hand of winning this. And they also agreed that there was an agreement signed today, ladies and gentlemen. We just say 76% of students are mentally affected, and none of the Negators stood up to rebuttal this, meaning they have agreed with us. Knowing that social media does more harm than good to students' mental health. So I believe we win this resolution. But ladies and gentlemen, to rebuttal, they talked of introduction to isolation, ladies and gentlemen. They say that that it introduces people. Okay, it is a rebuilding. We talked of isolation, but they came and tried to rebuttal it, saying that in fact it makes you make friends online, leaving out the rest of the people feeling lonely. But ladies and gentlemen, is this really helpful? Leaving other people feeling lonely. You find your friend on social media and you're there seated alone simply because you lack a phone. Doing more harm, it will give you depression and anxiety. So we believe we are winning tonight's resolution. The third negator just came and said that we shot our own leg. Well, ladies and gentlemen, to drive you to this, what he meant, he misquoted us, and that is why we made that clarification, but they still failed to identify it. Well, ladies and gentlemen, they also talk of that it is a way of learning new things online. They just mentioned some things like doggy, missionary. Well, are these things really helpful to students? These things are bringing negativity into the mental mind of students. Meaning the team Negators have totally failed to understand this, giving us negative effects, ladies and gentlemen. They can teach us things like doggy, missionary. Are they really helpful for students? In fact, it is affecting them mentally. They also came and talked of that our point of class was pornography, and we said that they say that pornography is one's choice, if well trained or not well trained. But still, we believe there are students, either trained or not trained, there are students and they are still mentally affected. Well, ladies and gentlemen, let's talk of a girl being raped, that it helps them to give them resources. What is so important? Your own body, your own dignity, or resources. They should still. Well, ladies and gentlemen, as the team of farmers, we talked of advertisement on harmful drugs, but we said social media advertises drugs such as alcohol, cigarette, and so many others. We also talked of introduction to pornography. We said pornographic videos and photos are posted on social media. Well, we also talked of reduced creativity, where students have lost creativity depending on the AI. We also talked of cyberbullying and harassment, where we say that if you're bullied online, you always feel anxiety and depression. We also talked of addiction, where students become more obsessed with social media rather than seeking help from others. We talked of FOMO, where students become involved with social media just only for FOMO, fear of missing out. We also talked of reduces face-to-face interaction, where say the students lack time to have face-to-face interaction with their colleagues. With all this, ladies and gentlemen, as the team of farmers, we conclude by saying, for one who has healthy mind has a life to live, but the one that is having unhealthy mind does not have a life to live. Well, we believe we have won this resolution and we are proud to affirm. Thanks.
You have been listening to Talk Time with Little Scholars, where young minds speak loud and proud. Catch us every Saturday on YouTube, Upperboards, and SoundCloud, brought to you by the Excellence Foundation for South Sudan, giving children a voice, one episode at a time.